Hi everyone, it's Theresa here of Larkin Design, and today I'm working in my 2014 Project Life album. This is a Roundup layout for the month of October. I, once again, didn't have a lot of photos for the month of October, and so I just decided to put all of them in one layout. It's actually 2 events in October that I had photos from, and so I'm working with those photos. And I'm also going to be using the brand new Maggie Holmes Chasing Dreams collection today. So these are some of the products that are available from her collection. And I just have to tell you that if you are a Maggie Holmes fan, that you're going to want to purchase this collection. Once again, she has outdone herself with amazing colors and beautiful icons and artwork and fantastic embellishments, all the fun things that we've come to expect from Maggie Holmes. Once again, also a couple of fun washi tapes here. And so there is a cut-apart sheet in this collection. I'm going to use some of the pieces from the cut-apart sheet, and then I'm also going to use some of the patterned papers to create my own journaling cards and filler cards here for this layout. And so with that in mind, it does take a little while longer to create a layout when you're creating your own journaling cards, but I think it's worth it in the end. And so here I'm just sort of assessing which ones of the cut-apart sheet that I want to use, and I'm going to trim them up a little bit and decide which ones fit in with my layout here. So the 2 events that I'm covering in this layout are, one, my husband and I had a date day. You've heard me talk about that in the past, where he takes a day off and we spend a day together. We might go out and do things on the town, or we might go just shopping and to lunch. And on this particular day, we went to the Roundup house, which is in Winston-Salem, and it is a historic home that is now, of course, on the registry, and it's also an art museum. And this was owned by the Reynolds of the RJR Nabisco variety. And so we like to go and support the art exhibits that they feature. Probably once a month or once a year we go over there. It's also nice to just poke around the grounds a little bit and just overall enjoy being together. And of course, it's some great opportunities for taking photographs and also for using the self-timer. I used the self-timer for a couple of these photos just to capture some photos of us together. On the right-hand side of the layout is actually my birthday. My birthday is October 19th, and so there were 2 significant things on my birthday that year. At the time in 2014, I was attending seminary, and as part of my seminary experience, I did an internship with a local church. And as part of that internship, I was honored to be able to preach a sermon, and that sermon actually was on my birthday. So it was kind of a birthday present to get to preach and to be able to serve in that capacity. So I wanted to include that in my layout. That is a pretty significant event in my life to be able to preach. And also there were a couple of photos from my birthday dinner at home when the kids gave me their presents, and we had my dinner. It was just quiet at home and my favorite way to celebrate. So that's sort of what was going on in these photos. Now, I did want to say, you probably noticed that I did a September Roundup layout as well in this album, and so let me just explain that this album is actually the album where I covered our house construction project for the months of May, June, July, and August. And that was some pretty intense photo documentation, some almost daily project lifing. And so I gave myself permission while that year was going on to back off on the photography for the rest of the year once the construction was finished. I needed time to get settled into the house, get unpacked, get moved, get reorganized, and get us all used to using a new space and a new routine and new schools. And so I just wanted to let you guys know that it's absolutely okay to do some heavy photo documentation in parts of the year and then to relax in other parts of the year and just do monthly. You can absolutely go from daily to monthly, back to weekly, however your life evolves. And, you guys have heard me talk about this before. This is some of the ebb and flow of life. And there's comfort in that, right? There's comfort that there's going to be photo heavy times and there's going to be photo light times. And when it's photo light, no need to panic, right? No need to freak out or no need to feel guilt. There's no need to feel like you failed in any way, because in the end, what I'm looking at is there are 2 more layouts in this album in order to complete this album. And my album is almost too thick. I can easily fit the 2 more page protectors that I need. And then this album will be full from 1 whole year. And that is fantastic. If that album was 1 full album from 1 month, that would be awesome. If that album was half full from 1 year, that would be awesome too. And so I want you to think about your projects in those terms, more in terms of what you have accomplished versus what you haven't accomplished. We get so wrapped up in feeling like we're behind and feeling like we didn't do enough, and we forget to acknowledge what we did. So acknowledge what you've done. If your 2014 is a hot mess, just like mine was when I started out, okay, set yourself up with a plan, a weekly plan, and I'll have to look back. I'll do that. I'll look back for the next video and see when I set off to complete this album. And I think it's probably been about a year process. And that's totally awesome. It's totally awesome to spend a year to finish an album, especially an album of this scope. And it's totally okay to just work on it 1 week at a time, 1 layout at a time. And that certainly has been my strategy for this project, and it's worked out really well. I am ready to wrap this up. Like I said, I have 2 more layouts to do. I have a Halloween layout, which is always exciting and fun, and some of my favorite layouts that I've ever done. And then also a November sort of gratitude kind of layout. And then this album will be finished, and I'll be sharing walkthrough videos once it's all done. And of course, there's a playlist that you can access, and you can watch the whole album come together from start to finish. So that should be a couple of hours of viewing, a couple of hours of videos for you to watch, to catch up on this album and to see how I've approached it overall. It's been quite a fun project, and I still love to do pocket pages, and I still love creating my own journaling cards and filler cards using our traditional collections. It's a lot of fun for me to plan out how I'm going to select my papers and contrast those with photos, and in this case there were a couple of cut apart sheets. I did find myself using the tags in this layout, which were a lot of fun. There were some pretty tags on this cut apart sheet, and I did trim them a little bit because they ended up being a little bit larger than 3x4. Sometimes when crepe paper does those cut aparts, sometimes some of the cards measure slightly shorter than 4 inches and some of them measure slightly bigger than 4 inches. I'm not sure what it is in their printing process that causes that to happen, but I don't stress over it. If it's shorter than 4 inches that I need, I'll probably trim all the way around it and just layer it on top of something else. And obviously, with all the pattern papers that were in this collection, there were many, many choices of what to layer and what to include. I do try to limit it to some extent. I think I ended up using like 3 pattern papers, front and back, or one might have just been the back, or another one might have been the front. I don't know. I also, you can see on that one journaling card that I was just holding, I used the washi tape on just a white cardstock to create one of the journaling cards as well, and love doing that. Another thing I did when I purchased this collection, when I ordered it, I didn't order the large 12x12 chipboard this time. Usually I do, and we'll see if I end up going back and buying it. I did get the 6x12 chipboard, and I'm kind of liking the smaller size. It's easier to store, it's lighter, it's not as bulky on your page, and it really is enough. It's enough on those chipboard packs that I don't know if I really need the full 12x12 size. Like I said, we'll see if I go back and end up purchasing it. But for this layout, I did not miss it at all. I didn't need it. Again, I sort of limited the number of supplies that I had out just to make it simpler, right? And to work with what you have. Some of the greatest layouts come just simply from working with what we have. And so I encourage you to limit your supplies in that regard. It does help make it a little easier. And so you can see here that side of the layout is completed. And I've added a few labels and some puffy stickers to the photos. And of course, a label with my handwriting to say where we were at the top. And then I'm going to move to the next side and complete these pockets here. And so I do have, there's always a little bit of trimming that goes on to get these to fit into the pockets. So that's okay. It's just a matter of working with it and figuring it out. And then I wanted to make sure that the tags were the same length as well. I did end up covering up the banner that was on that journaling card because I liked the background that's on that card. There. And a little puffy sticker for dimension. I'm always, when I do my embellishment clusters, I'm probably usually going to do something flat and something dimensional. And so it might be a cardstock label with a puffy sticker, or a sticker that's like an embellishment, or that's like a butterfly or a flower with a chipboard label, just to mesh together, to mesh all the dimensions together here. I did use this stamp pad from Ellie's Studio to create a label so that I could write where this church, or the name of the church that I preached at. I took a photo of the steeple from the church and included that. I did take some other photos of the church and did not include them at this time. I may do a separate layout about that or something later on. I don't know. But this was a good photo to include here. This photo that I'm working on right here is a photo of the bulletin from that service, and that bulletin has my name as the leading pastor for the day. So it's definitely a lovely experience to be able to serve that day. And it was nice to share it here on this layout as well. Definitely some good things. I have a particular fondness for this black and white tag that I'm holding in my hand right now. I think I need about 10 more tags like that. I really like it. Yeah, I just like the graphic quality of it. And next to that yellow and cream basket weave, it's really pretty. The patterns that Maggie Holmes always uses just always tie together so beautifully. And obviously these are excellent layering pieces, and then they become a great background for your stickers and your embellishments. So I'm going to do a couple of banners here. So I introduced the pink onto this label, or onto this card, just to tie it in with the rest of the layout. And then a little more black and white with the heart. So the photo next to this card is just a picture of me holding one of the gifts that the girls had given me. And then to tie it to that tag next to it, there was this little banner that has the same pattern, the same black and white banner. So I'm going to include that on the photo, and then another little embellishment so that there are layers. Here again, you can see how I combine a chipboard sticker with a cardstock sticker to vary the dimensions there. Now I'm going to create my title card, and so this is going to highlight that this is the month of October. This is my layout for October, and so I really like that yellow and cream basket weave. And then when I was going to put the gold alphabets on there to spell October, the gold sort of washes away next to the yellow. So I went through the papers to look for something that contrasted a little bit more, and then added a couple of strips. One of the strips is the floral pattern paper, and then the other strip is the pink back of that floral pattern paper. And then to emphasize the flowers again, I'm going to include one of the ephemera roses on the side. Just again for a little bit of dimension again. And then I'm going to put my month title here. Great way to use up your alphabet stickers. And I can't say enough amazing things about this glitter alphabet. I love it. Love, love, love it. And so I've got the Hello October, and then across the bottom of this card, it's still looking a little bit empty. Just needs a little something. And look at the pattern on the back of that. That pink is just fabulous. So I'm going to just cut a little strip of it to do a little handwritten journaling across there. And yes, that is absolutely 3 different fonts on one little card. I'm probably breaking some graphics rules there, so don't hold that against me. There's just a few more things that I want to add just to embellish a little bit more. This photo is of all 4 of the kids together, and Nick just walked by and he said, "Mom, that photo was a long time ago." I said, "Yeah, it was like 2.5 years ago." And they've changed a lot since then. Love it. Love capturing those moments like that. So I am going to wrap up this layout now and clean up a little bit and let you see some close-ups. And with that, I'm going to just say thank you for watching. I hope that you will like and comment and subscribe. And then I'll see you back here again soon. Thanks again for watching, you guys. Bye-bye.